What's up, investors, and welcome back to the channel. Happy New Year, new opportunities, and that means new properties. So into this video I want to talk to you about squatters in Spain, that's OKUPAS, how to deal with them, how to handle them, and what to do in a situation if you get OKUPAS to your property or in the neighborhood. So into this video I want to share with you a lot of steps and tips and tricks on how to deal with it. My name is Nicolas, and in 2016 I moved to Spain with no money, no connections, and absolutely zero experience with real estate. Today I'm a full-time property investor, and through this channel I'm going to share with you all the knowledge I have, tips and tricks, and my experience on how you can invest in property, buy property and sell property. So make sure to subscribe to the channel, because I will post one new video every single week and you don't want to miss them. Hit the like button below if you like the video, share it and subscribe so you won't miss a video and get all the tips and tricks through this channel. Tip number one on how to deal with OKUPAS here in Spain is to stay calm and avoid confrontation. So I recently bought a rental property here in Spain, and one of the neighbors are OKUPAS. And when I was done with the renovation, I got all the furniture inside the property, and I also listed the property, and I now have it rented out. But just before I was going to rent it out, I speak with one of the neighbors, and I understand that one of the other neighbors are OKUPAS. To begin with, it didn't concern me very much, but then I got a message from one of my neighbors that the OKUPAS had stolen my outside garden furniture. They had simply taken the outside table and put it into their garden. They didn't try to hide it, it was just standing there. Now it was disappearing from my garden and it was sitting onto their garden. And that's when I implemented step number one, to be calm and just avoid confrontation and speak with them friendly. So I knock on the door to speak with the OKUPAS, and then I explain the situation, that I'm the neighbor. I introduced myself. I said, this house on the corner is mine, and I can see that you have taken my table. Can I please have it back? So I just asked very friendly, and then they ended up giving me the table, and now I took it back on my property, and I just asked them please to not do it again and to just leave my property alone. So that is step number one. If someone is bothering you and stealing furniture from you because they are a neighbor, then always best to just speak with them politely. And the same goes if they are squatting your property. Let's say it's your holiday home, it's your vacation home, and you are coming now for vacation, and you can see that your property is in fact occupied by squatters. Stay calm and just speak with them friendly. Knock on the door, explain the situation, and see if you can find a solution just by speaking to them. That is always best. But you should not go alone, because you never know who lives there. Bring someone, a friend, a neighbor, or the police, bring someone with you on the first initial meeting to just see if you can find a solution. And I actually have a friend who offered them some cash to leave their house alone, €1,000, couple of €1,000, just to kind of go out of the property and leave them alone. That might be a solution as well if you can negotiate with them. Step number two is to gather evidence. So when you are knocking on the door, or if you want to speak with the OKUPAS, you want to communicate with them, you should record a conversation and maybe even film it if you can. If you can put a camera there just in the background to film it, in case something would happen, you have proof and evidence that it happened. And always bring the phone with you in your pocket. You can record a conversation in case you need it later. And at this point, now that you know you have squatters in your house, you should probably also now start to find all the documentation for your property, the title deeds, the bills, all the proof that you are the owner of the property, because we might suspect now at this point the police should be involved, and you should have all the documents necessary with you. And if you have these documents inside your property, that's a bit unfortunate, because obviously now you cannot come into the property because of the squatters are there. So always have a copy. If you don't have it, have a copy online on your computer. Your tax lawyer or accountant, they should have a copy, or even your real estate agent. But you should have a copy on yourself digitally, so if something happens you can just print it out or show it to the police online. That's just to be prepared, just to have it very quickly in case the police ask for it or some other local authority ask that you are the owner. You should always have it with you just to be now prepared for every situation. Step number 3 is to determine the type of squatter is in the property. There are normally 3 types of squatters here in Spain, and the first one is if they enter an unoccupied or abandoned property without permission. That's the most normal one and the main category. The second one is a tenant in dispute, if there's a prior rental agreement, even if they stop paying rent. So they are basically still in the property. They were renting the property from you. You have an agreement, but they now suddenly stop to pay the bills. What do you do in that situation? And the third type of squatter is if they squat your primary residence. In this case, if it's your primary residence, you live in that property full time, this is your main house, then it's normally a lot easier to get the squatters out of the property. They can normally be removed a lot quicker and the process is much faster because it is in fact your main property. Step number 4. Now we are at this point where you should contact the police if none of the steps earlier did not help and you still have the OKUPAS in the property. Now is the time to contact the police. And that is the Policía Local or Guardia Civil. And normally if you can prove that the property is yours and the squatters entered in less than 48 hours into your property, you can normally, if you're a little bit lucky and the police act immediately, you can normally get the squatters out of there immediately. The police will get there quickly and get them out. This is why it's so important to have alarm or security. I will talk about this in the next step, because then as soon as you know when the squatters come, you can immediately call the authority and they can be removed quickly, so you don't have to include a lawyer and go to the court and drag on for maybe even years in worst case scenario. I've seen this before, not me personally, but I have friends who had their property squatted for 3 years. So with just small steps which I will reveal now, you can avoid them coming into your property into the first place. Step number 5 is now to hire a lawyer. So you have done all the other steps, you have contacted the police, you have tried to talk with them, nothing works. Now is the time to contact a lawyer. This lawyer should be an expert in real estate because the laws in Spain is very complex when it comes to real estate, especially with squats and OKUPAS. It's very complex. Hire a lawyer, speak with them, explain the situation. So now is the time to do that. And now to the most important step and the last step as well, is to secure your property. This is how you can avoid the OKUPAS in the first place. So what you should do if you now have reclaimed your property, or if you have not yet had OKUPAS in your property but you want to secure your property, change all the locks, get an alarm system and cameras to the property, or even physical barrier to prevent future squatters. This means good security, higher walls, or even the grills on windows that some older properties have here in Spain. Not the newer one have those grills anymore, but if you're on ground floor, maybe you should consider it. And keep in mind, a ground floor apartment or even a townhouse or a villa is always more, it's easier to get into that type of property compared to an apartment in an apartment building. And the further up you are, the safer you are. And also you should have a regular check-ins on your vacant property. If this is your holiday property and you are maybe in Spain visiting your property a few times a year, have a property manager, someone to check into your property maybe once a month, take a video and just be there, because the OKUPAS normally look at the properties for a while before they actually enter it. They see if the property is empty, how long it's been empty and stuff like that. And having people regular checking in with the property, it's a lot safer. People will see there are people taking care of the property and looking out for it. That's it. That's 6 steps on how to prevent it, what to do if you get it. And the ideal thing is to not have it at all, but it should definitely not be a big issue, nothing to worry about if you handle all the steps correctly. And you should definitely be able to still buy your property without any concern and live the best life here in Spain as an investment to make money on the property, or as a holiday home, whatever you prefer. It's still very safe to buy property here in Spain. I've been doing so for the last decade, and I've bought and flipped properties. I have rental properties. My main job is property, and I have never had any big problem with OKUPAS. Even though I had other situation as well, I had break-ins, I had some different situation with the squatters, but never have they ever occupied my property for a longer period of time. So with that being said, leave a comment down below. If you have any question, leave them down and I will answer it. Send me an email, I will answer them in a video or an email, and make sure to hit a thumbs up if you like the video, and stay tuned because I will upload a weekly video every week from now 2025. So if you're considering buying a property in Spain, don't miss it. I'll see you in the next one, and happy investing.